Hi everyone, so today I'm doing an experiment where I'm using the air source heat pump and some sort of temporary setup just to heat the house. So I've got the boiler set to its lowest temperature for the radiator water, which is 25 Celsius. So I did turn on and burn a little bit of gas just for like a minute, then the gas stopped burning and then it just kept on just running the circulation. So it's sort of feeling kind of warm because this heat pump isn't very powerful. It's just sitting outside just now. I had to change the superheat setting on the expansion valve because with it operating in a very like colder environment outside, you need to change the superheat setting on the expansion valve so it can extract more heat out of the already cold air. So yeah, the central heating water, it's only 28.5 Celsius. It's not managing to heat it up that much, but again that's just because I reckon that heat pump's maybe only outputting like maybe, I don't know, 1.5 kilowatts of heat. It's not a particularly great system really, but it's going to be sort of in the loop anyway. So on some days I could heat the house using the heat pump rather than burning wood or whatever. I'm not too sure about it because, as I said, it's not a very powerful heat pump. So here's a slightly better view of the setup. It's just like a circulation pump just set up like this. So yeah, the good thing about using the heat pump to heat the house is that it's very low CO2 emissions. It's environmentally friendly, but because this heat pump isn't a very efficient design, I reckon it's only maybe giving out about, for every unit of electricity you put in, I'm maybe getting about 2.5 units of heat out. It's really not a very good one. So it means that in my case it's still cheaper to heat the house by burning all that wood I have outside or by using gas. Say the heat pump was one of the most efficient ones available, then the cost of running a heat pump would be the same, if not slightly less than burning gas. So despite that anyway, it's still putting a little bit of heat into the house, but really it's not much. You might be able to heat, like, keep 2 rooms basically like barely warm with it really, because it's about it's only about the power of a fan heater really that you'd plug in. So I don't see if there's it'd be good for like maybe heating up hot water, like heating up a hot water cylinder during the day, that small heat pump. And it could get the water up to about 45 Celsius, because if you have the water running through it and it's getting too hot and the compressor starts struggling and it's just going to damage it. It's out in the air conditioner, it's not designed for this at all really. And another thing worth mentioning is that if you're using an air source heat pump to like run radiators as well, it's best really just to have the actual refrigerant going through the plate heat exchanger anyway, because it's just more efficient doing it that way. But I chose not to. I chose to have a water heat exchanger down there just to keep the system more flexible, and I could have whatever I want heating the water out in the shed for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It seems the temperature does seem to be climbing very, very slowly, so I'll just keep an eye on that, and if it starts getting too high for the heat pump to cope, I can always put on more radiators. But yeah, the boiler seems to be coping. When I switched it on, it burnt gas for like a minute and then just switched the gas off and then just kept on circulating, so it's doing what I want it to do. But the real test will come when I start burning the firewood and getting these temperatures up much higher.